We're going to get started here on the conference call. This is Lions Roar Israelites, the 12 tribes of Israel. About to get started for the Shabbat. And tonight's class is called, Will the Most High Cast Away His People? Will the Most High Cast Away His People? Let's go to Colossians chapter 3, verse 17. Colossians 3 and 17. And whatsoever ye do in word or deed, do all by Hashem Hamashiach Yahawashi, giving thanks to the Most High Yahweh, by the Father, Abanawa, by Him. All praises. We're going to start off tonight with Romans chapter 11. All these fires and weather and cold and different things going on in this air here. Romans chapter 11, verse 1. I say then, hath the Most High cast away his people? The Most High forbid. For I also am an Israelite, of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. The Most High have not cast away his people, with he foreknew. Wot ye not what the Scripture saith of Elias, how he maketh intercession to the Most High against Yasharallah, saying, Hamashiach, they have killed the prophets, and dig down thine altars, and I am left alone, and they seek my life. Israel always was saying things like that when they thought they were the only ones keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. Because we have a tendency to look at our people and see how messed up in the minds they are. Just this afternoon, I was in San Francisco, and I was downtown with a couple of coworkers. And as we drove through San Francisco, there was a brother, maybe about 6'5", standing in the busiest area of the city, on the corner, people getting ready to cross the street, waiting for the red light to turn green. This brother just totally pulls his pants down, pulls his pants all the way down to his ankles. I couldn't believe my eyes. Then he squats down towards his knees, all the way to his toes. And he just sits there, and he don't move. And he's sitting there. And the more I saw him, the more I got ashamed of how destroyed our people are. I said, because I'm sitting in there with two Edomites and a Middle Eastern dude, and I'm saying to myself, what on earth have happened to our people to be so destroyed in the mind, to be able to pull your pants down to your ankles in the midst of all the nations with no disgust, with no ashamed, and the nations are walking by and they're just looking at them. And the first thing these nations are saying is, look at this black man. These black people are like animals. Look at them. It don't matter if the mayor is a black person. They only remember the bad. They don't remember the good. So that thought of that brother today is going to stay in their minds. Destroyed. So, again, when you read the scriptures, you have to say to yourself, hath the Most High cast away his people? He has not cast away his people. The Most High forbid. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 31. Our people are lost. L-O-S-T, lost. You can say L-O-S-S. It's still the same to me. Jeremiah 31 and 27. 31:27. Behold, the days come, saith the Most High, that I will sow the house of Israel and the house of Judah with the seed of man and with the seed of the beast. Now the seed of man is all the other nations. The seed of the beast is the one that you know as Esau. Now Judah and Israel are the 12 tribes of Israel. And it says, and it shall come to pass, And I'm in verse 28. I know I said 31 and 37, but I'm in verse 28. It says, "And it shall come to pass that like as I have watched over them to pluck up, to break down," well, we are broken down right now as a people, "and to throw down, and to destroy," we've been destroyed as a people, "and to afflict, so will I watch over them to build and to plant, saith the Most High." He gonna build us up. He gonna do it, and it's gonna make everybody be like Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1. They're gonna be amazed. It's like it. They're gonna be amazed, Akim. Let's go to verse 37. "Thus saith the Most High, if heaven above can be measured, and the foundations of the earth searched out beneath, I will also cast off all the seed of Israel, for all that they have done, saith the Most High." See that? The seed of Israel ain't going nowhere. We are here until the end comes, until we rule again. For the end of the world is Esau, and the beginning of it is Jacob. The Most High ain't lying when he's saying that. You can look around and tell that Esau rules the world. Go into any old tourist spot, and all you're going to see is Esau. You ain't going to see Moab. You ain't going to see the Chinese or the Japanese. They might be there taking pictures, but the ones who are going to be living it up are going to be the so-called Caucasian people. So-called white people, who we call in the Bible. They have a name, just like all other nations have a name. Their name is Esau. And I heard one particular Edomite I was talking to told me, "Well, when you say Edomite, it sounds like it's bad." That's how you perceive it. You know that your nation is bad. He said, whenever you say another nation, it don't sound so bad. When you say Elamite, or when you say Moabite, or Ammonite. But when you say Edomite, it sounds like it's evil. Well, they are evil. The Most High used them to be evil towards who? Towards Israel and all other nations. So don't get it twisted. The Most High created Esau not as a chosen vessel like Jacob. Let's go to Romans. Romans chapter 9. And let's go to verse 20. And it reads, "Nay, but, O man, who art thou that repliest against the Most High? Shall the thing formed say to him that formed it, Why hast thou made me thus?" That's what Esau's saying to the Most High. Why have you made me thus? That's what Esau's saying. "Hath not the potter power over the clay of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor?" This is the Most High's creation. He created all things. He knows the end to all nations. All right? Who was created for honor? It was Jacob. Verse 22. "What if the Most High, willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, and do it with much long suffering, the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction?" Aren't you glad the Most High wasn't happy with that pot that he made for dishonor? In verse 23, "And that he might make known the riches of the glory on the vessels of mercy, which he had afore prepared unto glory." That's that vessel or that pot of honor. That's Jacob. He created us from the beginning to rule the earth. Let's go to Jeremiah. Jeremiah chapter 51. The Most High loves Jacob. You can't change that story. It's just the way it's written. This is the Most High story. This ain't our story. It's the Most High story. This is the way he has narrated it. Jeremiah 51 verse 19. The portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. The Most High of Hosts is his name. See that? So who is this portion? Who is that pot that's of honor? It's Jacob. It's Jacob as a whole. Right now, Jacob has been broken down. And Jacob now is trying to build himself back up because he's recognizing what's going on. It's a trip when you're in the truth. You see things through a whole different lens. You don't see things like regular people. You see when you're being attacked in the spirit. You can feel it. You know it. Let me tell you how important the Most High is when it comes to nations not knowing who he is. See, we as Israel, even when we are destroyed people, look at all the churches that we have in our communities. Our people are still, even though they're seeking the wrong God with wood and stone, they're trying to seek after the Most High to the best of their ability. They're trying. They pray to their God to the best of their ability, even though what they see is a white image of who the world ignorantly calls Jesus. But they're utilizing the Bible to try to get there. But they just don't have the understanding. When you look at the other nations, they refuse. They don't want to even worship a God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. For example, I know a particular lady, her and her husband got a divorce. She took all 4 of her kids, moved into a home. She is not of Israelite descent. She is of Japheth descent. She moved her children into a home because she could afford it. Her husband is out there gambling, doing his thing. He's of Japheth. But, for example, she's in a house, and the house is full of evil spirits. This house she moved into. Her children were in a room. They felt something wasn't right in there. They slept, the oldest daughter and the oldest son slept in the same room because they was afraid of the house because nobody else was home. They locked the door of the room. The door just flew open. They didn't understand why and how it flew open. A couple weeks prior to that, they got 2 dogs. One dog just died in the house. They don't know how the dog died. Now, those are spirits. Now, if you don't know the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and Hamashiach Yahawashi, you ain't going to ever get those spirits out that house. You ain't going to ever get them out. They don't believe in the Most High. That means they stuck. They stuck with those spirits. You see why it's important and why it's such a good feeling to know that we have an awesome and powerful God? This stuff is real. Spirits in people's houses is real. It's real stuff. Let's go to Numbers chapter 23. See, when Israel knows who the Most High is, can't none of that stuff touch them. Satan has to come up with another way to get to them. That's why you like to utilize your family and things like that. Let's go to Numbers chapter 23 and 23. Numbers 23 and 23 reads, "Surely there is no enchantment against Jacob, neither is there any divination against Israel. According to this time, it shall be said of Jacob and of Yashala, what hath the Most High wrought?" Look, there is no enchantment going to come against Jacob. Do you know how many secrets they're hiding from us? All the things they done tried on us besides the Tuskegee syphilis event. They done tried so many other things on us. They're doing it now. Me, myself, I know that the fast food industry is doing all kinds of stuff. When you taste your food and it's salty, and you say, this tastes good, more than likely they're using some kind of shrimp, crawfish, crab, pork seasoning. Some kind of seasoning. That Popeye's chicken sandwich. That's another thing. People flocking to get that sandwich. Why? Because it tastes good. So, just that alone should let you know that they're experimenting on our people. And you wonder why we have cancer, diabetes, high blood pressure, all these different things. because the food is toxic that we're eating from these fast food industries. These hamburgers and chicken sandwiches, and these things are poisoning our minds. It's giving us mental problems, mental illnesses. Can't function. All right? All the stuff is coming from the foods that we're eating. The meats that we're eating. Brother just came out with a video talking about all fish is bad now because of the mercury that they ingest. We've been knowing that for years. Jake still go out there and fish. They ain't tripping. They post signs up all over the docks of the fishing places, of the piers and so forth, saying only consume one fish because it has mercury in it. That's been up for the last 20, 30 years. But we still consume it. We still consume it. So yeah, the food is toxic and it's killing us. 1 Samuel chapter 12. And let's go to verse 22. If you could put your phones on mute, it would be great while we're teaching the lesson, so we don't hear any reverb in the background. 1 Samuel chapter 12, verse 22. For the Most High will not forsake his people. See that? Most High ain't casting his people away. It says, for the Most High will not forsake his people, for his great name's sake. His name is in us. If you could look down on the earth and you have put your DNA in a certain people on the earth, if you put your DNA on a certain people on the earth, don't you think that you would allow that DNA to live forever? You would allow your own DNA to live, and everything else that you created that didn't have your DNA in it would die. We are the Most High's creation, and we are his vessel of honor. So we have to understand. For the Most High will not forsake his people. For his great name's sake, his name is written all in us, because it has pleased the Most High to make you his people. All you just got to do is ignite. Ignite meaning keep his law, statutes, and commandments. Ignite. Become a flame. That's all you got to do. The Most High loves his people. Let's go to Philippians. Book of Philippians. And let's go to chapter 3. And let's go to verse 5. Philippians 3 and 5. And it reads, circumcised the 8th day. That's when all young men are supposed to be circumcised on the 8th day with a what? A name of Yasharallah. All our names supposed to have Yah in it. Look at all the prophets. They all had Yah in it. On the 8th day was the day we're supposed to name. Why is it the 8th day? The 7th day was the day of rest. When did you start going back to work? On the 8th day of the month. That's when you name your child. The 8th day of the month. The 8th day of the week. Or 8th day of the month. If I said it right. Of the stock of Israel. Of the tribe of Benjamin. And Hebrew of the Hebrews, as touching the law, a Pharisee. This is who Paul was calling himself. He was a Pharisee. He was a Hebrew of the Hebrews. He was touching the law. Now, how are you going to follow Hamashiach Yahawashi? And he said he was still touching the law. And just like Brother Yahar said last week, he said, Yahawashi said, a young man came with the Yahawashi and said, which is the greatest commandment? And Yahawashi said, there's two. There's two great commandments of the commandments. Let's go to there. Matthew chapter 22 and 36 real quick. Yahar broke it down plain last week. Matthew 22 and 36. It says, Master, which is the great commandment in the law? Yahawashi said unto him, Thou shalt love thy Lord, thy power, with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. That's the first one. This is the first and great commandment. And the second is like unto it, Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. So Christians have a tendency to just read just those two. and forget every other commandment because he's telling you that there's more. He's also telling you that the prophets were talking and telling the right story. Because people, they stop at they stop. They stop with Yahawashi. They don't read nothing about the prophets. Half of Christians don't even understand what the prophets are saying. Because why? Because the prophets are always talking to Israel. They were never talking to the other nations. All you got to do is think a little bit. The prophets always spoke to Israel. Never did the prophets go out and teach the other nations. Yahawashi said to follow what the prophets taught. They were raising up the tribes of Israel. It's simple. Let's go to Romans 11:11. So no, the Most High never cast away his people. He ain't never casted them away. Romans chapter 11:11. I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? The Most High forbid, but rather through their fall, salvation is come unto the Gentiles, for to provoke them to jealousy. Now, how are the Gentiles, how are they going to provoke us? And what Gentiles? Is it talking about the 10 tribes that scattered? Can't be talking about them. He is talking about the real Gentiles. That's what he's talking about. Go to Psalms 83. Who's ruling the world? It ain't the 10 tribes. It ain't the 12 tribes. So what Gentiles is he talking about? You have to go to Maccabees to figure that out. But we're going to skip over Maccabees and go right to Psalms chapter 83, verse 1. Psalms 83:1. Keep not thou silence, O power. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power, because the Most High don't slumber, he don't sleep, he's awake. People think the Most High just went into a back room and just went to sleep. And Satan is just running around. No, the Most High is watching. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lift up thy head. Notice it says, they that hate you. They hate us. They hate the name of Israel. They hate the people of Israel. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. We are hidden to the world. We are hidden to the world. Remember in Ezekiel what Ezekiel said? We'll come back. Let's go to Ezekiel 38. We are hidden to this world. Ezekiel chapter 38. Let me find it. Look at verse 8. Now this is a prophecy. It says, this is us in America right here. After many days thou shalt be visited. In the latter years thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword, and is gathered out of many people against the mountains of Israel, which have been always waste. That's that country. Israel is wasted. But it is brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safely, all of them. Who is dwelling safely right now? Even though we're in a wicked country called Babylon, we are dwelling safely from the war that's going on over there in the Middle East right now, between Ishmael and Esau. We're over here dwelling safe. We don't even know we belong over there. We're the hidden ones. We're dwelling safe. It says, thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land. Thou and all thy bands and many people with you. Thus saith the Most High of hosts, it shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought. And thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. What is a land of unwalled villages? Notice when the Most High says unwalled, he's talking about those who do not have law, statutes, and commandments. That's protection. When you have the law, statutes, and commandments, you have walls around you, a form of protection. That's why it says, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest. See, they rest in these places. That dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls, and having neither bars nor gates, to take a spoil and to take a prey. See, the Most High just going to come and destroy it. To turn thy hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations, which have gotten cattle and goods, that dwell in the midst of the land. The Most High is going to destroy all these nations, because none of them keep his laws, statutes, and commandments. None of them believe in him. He's going to destroy them. Let's go back to Psalms 83 and 4. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. This is what Jeremiah was talking about, that we would discontinue from our inheritance. We've been cut off from our inheritance of who we are. Even with the scriptures, you have to ask yourself, and you have to really think about it. If you read the Bible years ago before coming into the truth, now you understand why all our fathers was writing their family tree in this book, especially in the book of Matthew, chapter 1, to restore your memory. The father of Abraham, the father of Isaac, the father of Jacob, all the way down, and restore your memory. How else we going to know who we are? Verse 5. It says, let me finish verse 4. That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance, for they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacle of Edom, so-called white men, and the Ishmaelites, right, the Arabs, Saudi Arabians, of Moab, and the Hagarenes, that's the Chinese and the East Indians, Gebal and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines. Y'all know who these people are. I don't have to repeat it. With the inhabitants of Tyre. So all these people are the Gentiles who are scattered throughout our lands right now. Jump up to 12. Who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of the Most High in possession. See that? They took our names. They took our land. They took our recipes. Right? Well, not really our recipes, because their food is nasty. But yeah, they took all our customs. That's what they did. This is what I meant by their salvation. They took our houses and our names. Check this out. Let's go to 2 Kings chapter 23, verse 27. Second Kings chapter 23, verse 27. And it reads, I'll let y'all get there. And the Most High said, I will remove Judah also out of my sight, as I have removed Israel. Remember, Israel was moved out of his sight first. Then he removed Judah. And will cast off this city, Jerusalem, which I have chosen, and the house of which I said, my name shall be there. See that? So he just destroyed everything that he created. Moved us all out of the way. Even the land is all confused. They don't know what's what. They don't know where King David's temple was. Everything's confusing over there. The heathens are all in our land, the Gentiles. So that's the house of the people of Israel. The people that are scattered. We're in the exile. Let's see what he's going to do to the people who are renting. Basically, they're renting our names, right? They're leasing our names. or our houses and mocking us at the same time. You can't forget this. Get this historical story. You can't do it because this is our history. People have said, I've heard Jewish people say, well, the Bible is not a history book. They lying. It is a history book. It's not their history book. That's why they're not calling it a history book. I'm going to go to 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 43. First Samuel chapter 17, 43. Remember this. And the Philistines said unto David, Am I a dog that thou comest to me with staves? And the Philistine cursed David by his gods. And the Philistine said to David, Come to me, and I will give thy flesh unto the fowls of the air, and to the beasts of the field. That's how they talk to us. Then said David to the Philistine, Thou comest to me with a sword, and with a spear, with the cannons, and with the ICBM missiles, and with the shield, the drones. But I come to thee in the name of the Most High Yahweh, by Shem HaMashiach Yahawashi, the power of the armies of Yasharallah, whom thou hast defied. This day will the Most High deliver thee into mine hands. That's what he's going to do with the other nations. He's going to deliver them to us. And I will smite thee, and take thine head from thee. And I will give the carcasses of the host of the Philistines this day unto the fowls of the air, and to the wild beasts of the earth, that all the earth may know that there is a God in Yasharallah. Most High is all about his name. It ain't about nobody else. It's all about his name, and he ain't going to tarnish that name. That's why he's sitting here laughing at these nations. Look at how they building up their system right now. They got it so built up with so many systems that they are preparing to fight the Most High with their freeway systems, with their buildings, with all their corporations, with their factories, with the underground caves, with the under the ocean military bases. They are preparing for this fight. You think they want to give up what they got? You know how long it took them to get where they are? They are not trying to go out with a fight. All they got now, they got their flying cars about to come out. I know y'all have seen that. They're getting everything set up. You ain't going to be driving a car in the next 10 years. Remember how the Most High created the earth? He spoke it into existence, right? Esau is trying to copy the Most High. You walk into a house now, it's a modern day house, got Alexa in there. You go in there, Alexa, turn on the TV. Alexa, turn my heat up to 90 degrees. It's cold outside. You speaking things into existence. Esau is trying to get to that point. So you really think you're going to be driving a car with a steering wheel? You're going to tell that car, go here, I need to get the such and such right now. Car going to tell you how far it is, how long it's going to take to get there. It's going to be the same way with flying cars. You ain't going to be driving nothing. They're going to have everybody pegged. They're going to know where you are at all times because it's all going to be Wi-Fi. Everything's going to be connected. Your face recognition, pupil recognition, they ain't gonna even really need a fingerprint. Face recognition does it all. So this place is about to change in the next generation or so if we still here. But it's just getting ready. They just getting ready to fight the Most High and His people. That's all they doing. But we're gonna be like King David. We ain't gonna come with a sword, with nothing. King David came with a slingshot to fight Goliath. Took him out. Couple of rocks. Bare minimum. That's how we're going to be. We as Israel have a power who oversees us with unlimited power. That's what we have to understand. Let's go to Psalms chapter 77. That's what we have to understand and overstand. You know what I mean? We got to get to that point of knowing the type of power we have. The book of Psalms, chapter 77, verse 7. It reads, will the Most High cast off forever? Who's he talking about? There's only one thing the Most High love, so it's talking about his people. Will the Most High cast off forever? And will he be favorable no more? See that? God forbid. The Most High forbid. Let's read verse 8. And this is the same thing Paul has said in Romans chapter 11 and 1. He said the same thing. In his mercy, clean gone forever. Doth his promise fail forever? Hath the Most High forgotten to be gracious? Hath he in anger shut up his tender mercies? Selah. And I said, this is my infirmity, but I will remember the years of the right hand of the Most High. The right hand, Mashiach. I will remember the works of the Most High. Surely I will remember thy wonders of old. So you got to remember all of this. I will meditate also of all thy work and talk of thy doings. You better do this daily. Talk about how the Most High going to come back. Talk about what he did to certain nations. Right now down in Texas, a brother sent me a link how they're teaching the young children about sodomy in classes. Teaching children about sodomy? That's why I know this is Babylon. The scripture says spiritually Sodom and spiritually Egypt. Why are you teaching children about sodomy? You know, they want to see asteroids so bad in this land. These scientists constantly looking up in the stars. They want to see these asteroids. What do you think destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah? Hailstones, brimstones. Most High can send them and direct it right onto their city. Bullseye. He knows how to send. Most High can turn animals and insects on these people. Germs and diseases on these people. They ain't nothing for the Most High. Let's go back to Psalms chapter 77, and let's go to verse 13. The way, O power, is in the sanctuary. Who is so great a power as over the Most High? Thou art the power that doest wonder. Thou hast declared thy strength among the people. Thou hast with thine arm redeemed thy people, the sons of Jacob and Joseph, Selah. He ain't leaving nobody out. Joseph represents Ephraim, the 10 tribes. He ain't leaving nobody out. It's all about the 12 tribes of Israel because we got his name written all over us. Okay? It's not the you, why have you, however they say it. Sister said that to us. We got the you, why, hey, yah, all over our bones. Yeah, we do got it all over us. We got the DNA. If you want to talk about DNA, which Esau's DNA is garbage, well, we got the DNA of the Most High. Let's go to Acts chapter 26. Acts 26, verse 4. You know, going to those DNA scientists is just like going to psychics. You know, in order to go to, I've never been to a psychic, but I watched some shows back in the day before I got into the truth. And the thing about them psychics, you have to fill out an application before you can even see one. Family history, mother's maiden name. You giving them all the information to come up with some BS to tell you what they saw or who they spoke to. It's a bunch of BS. These psychics now are probably so crafty because they got the computer now. They could just run your whole family tree in a computer. But y'all want to believe in Esau's DNA. Esau can't even tell you how old a rock is. He talking about a rock was 5 million years old. The earth ain't even been here that long. Not after the Most High created all these things. Remember, he formed it. I ain't going to get into that. But y'all know what I'm talking about. Let's go to Acts 26 and 4, like I said. The scriptures read, My manner of life from my youth, which was at the first among mine own nation at Jerusalem, know all the Israelites. It said the Jews here, but know all the Israelites. We were Israelites, which know me from the beginning. If they would testify that after the most straightest sect of our religion, I lined a Pharisee. I lived a Pharisee. So he's saying, I knew all the Israelites. My nation is of Jerusalem, the Israel, of the 12 tribes of Israel. City of peace. Let's go to Jeremiah 33. So, our nation has never been cast away. We've been scattered, but we just scattered in exile. Let's look at Jeremiah 33, verse 24. Let's see if the Most High going to cast us away. Let's see. Jeremiah chapter 33, verse 24. Considereth thou not what this people has spoken, saying, the 2 families which the Most High have chosen, he hath even cast them off. Thus they have despised my people, that they should be no more a nation before them. Who despised his people? Who is despising us? It's the Gentiles. Thus saith the Most High, if my covenant be not with day and night, and if I have not appointed the ordinance of heaven and earth, then will I cast away the seed of Jacob. All that stuff is still here. Heaven and earth is still here. The Most High has not done away with his people. Let's go to the book of Esther 300. Oh, I had to pull a Yahar. There is no Esther chapter 300. Y'all woke now? Let's go to Esther chapter 3. Esther chapter 3. And let's go to verse 6. Esther chapter 3, verse 6. And he that scorned to lay hands on Mordecai alone, for they had showed him the people of Mordecai. Wherefore Haman the Edomite sought to destroy all the Jews that were throughout the whole kingdom of Ahasuerus, even the people, or I'll say Xerxes, even the people of Mordecai. See that? So who was scattered into all kingdoms? It was Mordecai's people. Who was Mordecai's people? The Israelites. In the first month, that is the month of Nisan, in the 12th year of King Xerxes, they cast Purim, that is, the lot before Haman, from day to day and from month to month to the 12th month, that is the month of Adar. This is when we had our Purim feast day. Because of what Haman did, we overcame and it became a feast day. And Haman said unto King Xerxes, there is a certain people scattered abroad and dispersed among the people. You don't think the same chatter is still going on today? You don't think they say there is a people dispersed abroad? You don't think we're in their quiet discussions in Congress, in the Senate? You don't think we're discussed like that? Behind closed doors? In all the provinces of thy kingdom, and their laws are diverse from all people. Neither keep... Oh, they're probably laughing at us now. They're probably laughing at us. Yeah, we told all their pastors not to ever teach the law anymore. As long as they believe in Jesus. That's all they need to praise. They don't need to keep the laws of the Most High. They just need to believe in Jesus. Well, Yahawashi said, he that keep my father's laws is like his brother. You know what I mean? What did he tell Peter? Was it Peter? He said, keep the commandments. He said, keep the commandments. Told him 3 times, keep the commandments. Right? You probably don't